So thanks very much, Brigadier, for talking with us.
Neil Marks, yeah.
36 years in the Army. What are you doing in politics now?
After 36 years in the military, I reached the mandatory age of retirement on the 5th of October 2016. And basically, I was at home relaxing for 3 years. And an offer was made for me to join with the PPPC, and I accepted the offer.
What made you accept it?
Well, I identify with the PPPC programs. I read their manifesto and the outline of their programs as they pursue elections 2020. Basically, I identify with the program. It's a program for the development of Guyana. It's a program that addresses the concern of poor Guyanese. It's a program that addresses the need for infrastructural development of Guyana, the need for more foreign direct investment to come to Guyana, and the need to support our private sector.
So before you hadn't an interest in politics?
Well, an interest from a distance. From a distance, of course, in terms I was just an observer. I was never involved in any partisan politics before then. An interest in the sense of just reading the newspapers, listening to addresses by politicians, etc.
People would say that you were appointed by Donald Ramotar, and that may show that you had some inkling towards the PPP.
Well, the appointment by Donald Ramotar as Chief of Staff, it was a political appointment, but it was a political appointment made by the politicians at the time, the government. Basically what they did, they looked at the senior officers in the GDF and decided who should be the Chief of Staff.
So you weren't appointed because you were cozying up to the PPP?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think my appointment was based purely on me being a professional in the GDF, and from my interactions with the political directorate at the time, I rather suspect, they were comfortable with me being elevated to Brigadier and the appointment of Chief of Staff.
What weight do you see you bring to the PPP at this time to get them back in office?
Well, as I mentioned at both rallies, I have 36 years of experience in the Guyana Defense Force, which I consider to be public service. In addition to my military training, I have academic qualifications. I have a first degree, a Bachelor of Social Sciences in Public Management, University of Guyana, and I have a master's in public sector management, which I pursued at the university in the Dominican Republic. And as far as I'm concerned, I can complement my military experience along with my academic experience, and academic training, and come out of retirement and assist the PPP Civic as they form the new government in improving the administration, political administration in Guyana.
Brigadier, you've joined a party that is predominantly supported by Indo-Guyanese. The ticket is of an Indo-Guyanese candidate, you're Afro-Guyanese candidate. That has been the pattern throughout history. Does it really make a difference, your candidacy?
Well, for me, it doesn't bother me because the PPPC, as you know, is celebrating its 70th anniversary as a political organization in Guyana. And you perhaps know the history of the PPP better than I do. The PPPC from the inception was a multiracial party. The leadership at the time, multiracial. Fine over years, and we know what led to the PPP being supported predominantly by Indian Guyanese, and of course the other faction, which became the PNC, being supported by African Guyanese. But then if you look across the spectrum, while the PNC is supported by mainly African Guyanese, there are many Indian Guyanese who are also members of the PNC, and likewise with the PPP, there are many African Guyanese who remain and also later on join with the PPP because, of course, I think they respect the policies of the party. And it all boils down, as a matter of fact, to your personal choice. as to where you will want to go politically in Guyana. I have chosen the PPP, see, and that's it. It's my choice.
Brigadier, do you think your candidacy will make a difference in the support that the PPP receives from the joint services?
I think I serve a distinction in the joint services, particularly in the Ghana Defense Force, and I know that me joining with the PPPC will be a point of discussion in the services. What do I bring to bear?
Can you get them to vote for the PPP? That's the question.
Well, if I can get them to vote for the PPP, that's a good question.
Because the joint services have traditionally supported the PNC.
The PNC. Let's wait and see. Well, I think I have a soft heart for the joint services. I know of the challenges, and from both of my speeches so far, I did mention that once we are elected, I see myself as the lead in addressing all the issues pertaining to the joint services and, like the improvement that is required for the police force, the improvement that is required for the defense force, prison and fire service.
Do you suppose that if the PPP wins the elections and you become Prime Minister, that you will have then a substantial portfolio in security while being Prime Minister?
I would rather think so.
Okay.
I don't expect to be as Prime Minister alone. I expect to be a Prime Minister who will also have a ministerial responsibility. Most likely public security, used to be called Home Affairs, public security, or it depends on the leadership of the party.